So welcome everybody on a Tuesday night yoga class. This yoga class, we're going to focus a lot on the core. I've gotten a lot of requests from you about working on the core. So we'll work on hips, low back, and belly. But of course, we work the whole body. Now, I do want to stress that we won't be doing any strong workout in the evening because the evening is a time to sort of cool down. However, it doesn't mean that it makes it easier. There may be some very strong stretches towards the end. And I hope it's going to heat you up a little bit. I see you all covered up in blankets and everything. So hopefully you'll feel a bit warmer after we get moving. Okay. First bit, I'd like you to sit down either on a pillow, on a chair, or on your mat if you're comfortable. And we'll simply do some breathing exercises. And I'd like to do the breathing exercises working the neck as well. So please be gentle and careful while we do this exercise. I want you to clasp your hands together and bring your hands behind your head, just like you're relaxing at the beach on a warm summer day. Okay? Take a deep breath in, lift and open the chest and draw the elbows back as far as is comfortable. And as you breathe out, slowly bring your elbows in front of your face and lower your chin to your chest. And then we'll breathe in and bring the breath deep into the chest, lift the chin. And breathing out, bring the elbows towards each other, chin goes down towards the chest. And let's go again. Breathing in, opening up, lift the chin. And breathing out, elbows come together, chin down towards the chest. And we'll do that one more time. Breathe in. And let's breathe out. Release the hands around the head. Bring your hands back down to your thighs. Now we'll lower the chin to the chest and roll your head to the right. Now we're going to do a nice little yoga for the face exercise here. So roll it to the right and make a big kiss movement with your mouth. So you push your lips away from your chin. And then relax, roll the head to the left shoulder. And once you're there, make that kiss. Really a big exaggerated kiss. And then change, roll the head to the right. Big kiss. And change to the left. Another big kiss. One more time each side. To the right. And that kiss. And to the left. And the kiss. Bring your chin back down to the chest. And lift your head gently. And now I want you to just relax all the muscles around the mouth. You can make a movement like this. That's it. As if you're making a circle with your jaw. Perfect. Now bring both palms of the hands and place them over the cheeks. The fingers will go over the eyes. And the nose is in between the hands. Relax the shoulders and just hold them there for a moment. And while you hold them there, come into the full sensation in your jaw, face, on your cheeks. Just feel the palms touching the face, the heat of the palms. And then very gently, the fingertips, I want you to draw them down the face. Just draw them down over the eyebrows. Slowly, you can go over the eyelids very slowly. Move with the sensation. Feel what's going on in all of those tiny nerve endings in the face as well as in the fingertips. And once you reach the chin, bring the hands back down and open your eyes. Nice. So these exercises, fantastic exercises to get to the right part of your brain. And this part of the brain has been shown to be the one that makes better decisions and sees things a little bit differently with a different perspective. Okay. So now that we're there, let's clasp our hands together and push the palms skyward. Lift the chest, lift the chin. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out, lean to your right. Get a stretch down the side of the body. Breathing in, rise back up. And breathe out, let's go to our left, stretching down the side of the body. Good. Breathing in, let's rise. Breathing out to the right. Breathing in, rise back up. To the left. Looking good, everyone. Back up. Go to the right again. Lifting to the left one more time. Lifting. Now bring the palms together and bring the thumbs into the upper back so your elbows wrap around your head. You lift your chin a bit, get length through the neck. Take another deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, you can release your arms, bring your hands back down and relax. Good. So I'm going to scoop my computer back just a little bit so you get the full view of my yoga mat. Come up onto your hands and knees, please, on your mat. Up onto your hands and knees. So if you've been following regularly my courses, you know that I'm into what's called muscle activation, which also helps to activate the fascia lines. It works on the fascia lines in the body. And when we're on our hands and knees, what we do is simply dialing out the hands. So it feels like your hands will move to the sides, but of course, as they're pressing down into the earth, they don't move. So it's a muscular activation. You want to feel like you're dialing your hands out to the sides. This helps to open the shoulders and set all of the articulations in the right position. Keeping that, it should be a gentle dialing out. Keep that and take a deep breath in and curl your spine, looking skyward. Then as you breathe out, look to your belly button and round the spine. Breathe in and curl, looking skyward. Breathe out, let's round, look to the belly button. One more time, let's breathe in and curl. And then breathing out, rounding. Come back to a flat back, keeping the hands dialing out so that's that activation of the muscles in the arms and shoulders. Walk your knees back about 20 centimeters, tucking your toes. Let's come to downward facing dog. Pedal your feet a little bit, right and left, right and left. See if you can start pressing and pushing your heels downwards. And then straightening both legs. We're going to take a deep breath in and move into a gentle plank position. If you feel it's too much, you can lower your knees down as you come into a half plank. Then breathe out, push back to down dog. And again, let's breathe in, move into plank or half plank. Breathing out, down dog. Let's do that one more time. Move into plank. Slowly, everyone lowers the knees and we move down onto the mat. Point your toes. Now lengthen your legs out so that you feel length, a little bit of length in the low back. We'll take a deep breath in and rise to a little baby cobra and then back down. Now, keep your right hand where it is. Bring your left hand a little bit farther forward. And you'll do sort of a twisting cobra. You lift and you look over your right shoulder towards the right heel. Come back down. Then we switch hands. Bring the right hand a little bit farther forward. Left hand stays under the shoulder and rise to that twisting cobra. Coming back down. Set the hands under the shoulders. Push up onto the knees now. Good. Now separate your knees so that your big toes are touching. And we'll reach our right hand far out in front of us. And we'll slide the left arm under the body, left shoulder comes down, and you place your left cheek down on the floor. Right arm reaches out in front of you and take deep, slow breaths. So with all the postures, you go as far as is comfortable, as far as feels right for you. If at any point there's any discomfort, of course you back off the postures. Taking another deep breath in. Slide your right hand back next to your head and push against the floor to rise up. Then we'll reach our left hand far out in front. Wind the right arm underneath you and twist so that the right cheek is down. And you'll hold here again, deep breaths. Sliding your left hand back, push against the floor to rise back up. Now reach your hands out in front of you. Again, tucking your toes under, rise to downward facing dog. And let's pedal the feet once again, right and left. Look to your hands now and begin stepping the feet forward until you reach the front edge of your mat. Now, when you're here, your feet should be hip width. So they're about 20 to 30 centimeters between your feet, okay? Toes are open. And again, what you're going to do is dial the feet out. So you're folding forward. Once you get most of the weight on your feet, feel like you're dialing them out. What happens is the kneecaps turn a little bit. There's more engagement into the hips and the thighs. Grab your elbows, let your head drop, and begin swaying from side to side. Then come back to center, lower your arms down, and begin rolling your shoulders right and left. Then turning your head from right to left, a little no. And then up and down for a little yes. Then we bend our knees down low, hands to our hips. Now it's almost just a small squat. So you'll bend the knees low, lift your chin, lift your chest, elbows point up. Rise with the back straight until you're all the way up to a standing position. Good. Bring your hands to your heart center. Keep that sensation of the dialing out of the feet that keeps the thighs turned on. Everything is engaged. Hands to your heart center. And we start with some gentle movement. Take a deep breath in, raise your arms up, stretching skyward, lift the chest, lift the chin. And then as you breathe out, fold, bending at the knees, and you fold at the hips until your hands come to the earth. We're going to step our right foot back onto the mat. If you need to, you can double up the mat and bring the knee down, or you can just bring the knee down on the mat, but protect the knees, please. Hips are forward. You're going to raise your body, raising the arms behind you, and you stretch your arms out to the side like wings. Lift and open the chest, lift the eyes. Bring your hands back down to the earth and step your left foot back until you're in a plank position. Lower your knees down, lower yourself gently to the floor. Pointing your toes, lengthen your legs, and we come up to that cobra, just a normal cobra position. Bring your chest back down. Push up on the knees first, and then take your downward facing dog. Walking your feet forward until you reach the front edge of your mat. Feet hip width, bend the knees, dialing the feet out. Come to a halfway lift, lengthening the spine as much as possible. And then you'll fold forward. See if you can straighten your legs as much as possible without locking the knees. Then rebend the knees, bring your hands to your hips, elbows up. Lift your chin, chest, feet are dialing out. Rise to a standing position. And relax your arms by your sides. We'll do that again. Hands to the heart center. Take it slow, take it easy. Deep breath in, let's rise up, stretching high. Breathing out, we fold forward. Knees bend. Stepping your left leg back this time. You can bring the knee to the earth if you wish. Then you raise the upper body and spread your wings. Bringing your hands back down. Let's step back to the plank position. Belly's turned on, everything's strong. Lower your knees, lower your chest. Pointing your toes, lengthen out the legs. Dial the hands out, rise to a cobra. Bringing your chest back down. Push up onto your knees or straight back and into down dog. Looking at your hands, begin taking steps forward until you reach the front edge of your mat. Once you're there, bend the knees, flatten the back, come to the halfway lift. Folding forward, see if you can straighten your legs as much as possible. Then hands come to your hips, bend your knees low, dialing the feet out, rise to a standing position. And release your arms by your sides. We'll go through 2 more rounds of that. So let's go hands to the heart center. Very gently raise your arms and stretch skyward, get long and expansive. Breathe out and fold yourself forward. Step your right leg back. Knee comes to the earth. Lift the chest and open your wings. Coming back, taking your plank position. Lower yourself with or without your knees. Point your toes, rise up to that little cobra. Push yourself back onto the knees or straight back to down dog. Stepping your feet forward, one at a time forward until you reach the front edge of your mat. Take that halfway lift. Fold forward, legs as straight as possible. Bend your knees now, hands to the hips, work through the squat until you come all the way up to a standing position and release the arms. Last round, hands to your heart center. Take a deep breath in, rise up. Breathe out and fold yourself forward. Stepping your left leg back. Good, rise up and get into that expansive winged posture, yes. Bring your hands back down and step back to your plank position. Everybody's looking good. Somebody's got a partner there, fantastic. Move yourself down to the floor. Point your toes, rise up to the cobra. Beautiful, everyone. And push back to the down dog. Make it smooth, like you're working through water. Now baby steps forward, baby steps forward. Take that halfway lift, everyone. Fold yourself down and forward. Excellent. See if you can straighten the legs here. Yeah, then hands to the hips. That's right, Richard, go ahead. Hands to the hips. Rise up through the squat until the legs are straight and you're standing. And release your arms by your sides. Good. Roll your shoulders a few times to help relax and get rid of any tension. Now set yourself in a position where you are on hard floor so that you can get into some balancing positions. Let's clasp our hands behind us. Stretch the arms as straight as possible, opening the chest, and raise your right leg. Bend your left knee. Hold this position for a moment and see if you can lean backwards a bit, looking at the sky. Can be a big challenge. If it's too much, you just set the big toe on the floor in front of you and lean back. Take a deep breath in. Now release the arms by your sides. Remember the wings that we did in the warm-up? Arms by the sides. And send the right leg back into an airplane position. Here we're working the glutes, everyone. Back of the leg and the glutes. So flex your foot, raise the leg as high as possible, and we pulse right here. 5, the tire. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rise back up to standing, set the foot down, roll your shoulders to release any tension. Good job. Other side. Clasp your hands behind you and stretch here. Lift your left foot. So the reason why we do this position with the arms is because most of us are spending the day with the arms forward, shoulders forward. And here we want to get the arms back, shoulders back. Bend that standing knee, lift the chest. If possible, lean back a little bit. Move into Shiva, Shivasana. Take another deep breath in. And let's make the wings with the arms and send the leg back and into an airplane position. If you can hold this, get the leg up high. And we pulse, bring the leg up higher. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rise back up. Gently set the foot down and roll your shoulders to relax. Okay, bring your hands to your hips. Let's bend our right knee, bring it out to the side. So we get ready for tree pose. You can either keep the foot at the ankle. If you go as high as the kneecap, the heel is higher than the kneecap. Or you can get up to the inner thigh. Or, of course, you can come into a half lotus position if you wish. Lift your eyes and raise your arms in a V position. This helps to relax the shoulders. If you have your palms together, it tends to create more tension. So open the hands, open the arms, and drop your shoulders. Set your gaze at one point. And see as well if you can open the knee, the right knee, wide to the side. One more deep breath in. Hands to your hips. And lower the foot down. Good job. Nice. Let's change sides. Left knee bends and bring it out to the side. You're either at the ankle, a little bit higher than the kneecap, or the inner thigh, or of course half lotus if you prefer. Raise your arms into a V position, lift the chest, open the left knee wide. Set your gaze at one point and stay calm. Breathing slow. Bring your hands back down to your hips and lower the leg down. Good. Come back to the front edge of your mat. We'll set our hands at the heart center. Take a deep breath in, raise the arms up, stretching. Fold forward, bending at the knees. Come to a halfway lift and step back to your plank position. So you're in a high plank position. It's like a high push-up position. You could lower your knees if you need to for your low back or for your shoulders. You could also bring your elbows down and do it with the knees down or the knees up. Choose what's going to be best for you today. So hold the position for another 5 breaths, please. Belly in. This is amazing core work. This really helps to tighten up the waistline. Lift your head. 3 more breaths. Let's bring the knees down and bring the chest all the way down to the floor. Hands go underneath the forehead and you move your hips from side to side just to relax a bit and let go. Okay. Separate your feet as wide as your mat. So the toes, you can, with the big toes, you can touch the outer edges of the mat. If you wish, you can keep your head down or you can lift it as you wish. I want you to raise both legs, feet pointing, and the legs are really straight. Everything's tight. And then bring the legs back down. And again, lift just the legs. Squeeze the glutes tight, feel the back, and then bring the legs down. Now, if you're feeling fine in the back and you'd like to go farther, we'll raise the legs, bring the big toes together so the legs come together, then apart, and then down. And again, lift, squeeze together, apart, and then down. If it's too much, you just lift the legs without squeezing the feet together. Up. If you want, bring the feet together, apart, and down. We'll do that one more time. Lift, squeeze the glutes tight. Bring the feet together, apart, and back down. Good job. Okay, move the hips from side to side just to let go. Perfect. All right. Now, whichever side is going to be the easiest for you to see me, I want you to roll on that side. Okay? You should be the length of your mat, rolled onto one side, one arm underneath the head for support. The other arm is going to be out in front of you. Okay? Take a deep breath in and lift both legs. Toes pointed, legs are strong. This is like Pilates legs, okay? The legs are strong, tight, toes pointed tightly as well. Take a few deep breaths here. See if you can just let your mind drop the day. Just let go of the day. Stay focused on what's happening right now. Take another deep breath in and lower the legs back down. Good job. Okay. We're going to bring the top leg bent behind us. Okay? Top leg bent behind. Rise up onto your elbow. Top leg is bent behind. Other leg stretched as straight as possible. And I'd like you to place the top hand on the knee. Raise that leg, the one that's stretched as straight as possible. And do little pulses here. Lifting 10, 9, really strong, 8, the leg is super straight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, see if you can open up the shoulder here, 2, good, 1, bring the leg back down, stay on the elbow, and bring both knees bent, feet behind you. So I'll first show you the first level, and then I'll give you options to make it more challenging, okay? The elbow stays under the shoulder, the hand on the floor. Raise your hips up. This is first level. Second level, you set the hand at the hip. Third level, you straighten out the lower leg, but keep it off the floor. Fourth level, both legs are straight, and you lift the hips up. And then fifth level is the arm coming up. Hold it for 3 more breaths. Belly in, hips up. 2, 1. Good job. Come on back down. Releasing, roll onto your tummy. Hands under the forehead. And just let go, letting the hips go from side to side. Nice. Good job. To take a break from some of the side work, I want you to come up onto your elbows. Bend your right knee, grab the foot, or if you can, just grab the pant leg, or if not, you just have the knee bent at 90 degrees and you hold it here. Turn your chest forward. Let the hips drop as much as possible and hold. Release the leg, and we switch legs. Elbows back down on the floor, lift your left foot. If you don't grab the foot, no problem. You just leave it at 90 degrees, okay? And just turn the chest forward. If you grab it, pull it in towards the glute and hold it here. Deep breaths. Come on back down and move the hips from side to side. Okay. Now I'm going to switch sides, so I roll towards the camera. You can either switch sides with me, or you roll onto your opposite side with the opposite arm underneath the head. Okay. One hand out in front of you for balance. Point your toes. Make your legs really strong and straight, and raise both legs and hold here. The head is supported on your arm. Yeah, that's right. Belly in, holding. Keep breathing here. Looking good. Well done. Bring both legs down. Okay. Bend the top leg. Bring the foot behind your other leg. Come up onto your elbow. And the hand goes on the top knee. Tighten up the lower leg, toe pointed, really strong Pilates leg, and raise the leg up as high as possible. And then we pulse higher. 10, 9, belly is in, 8, 7, you're always breathing. 6, 5, 4, looks good. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Bring it back down. Bending both knees. Feet are behind you. You're on the elbow. You can either take the first position with the hand on the floor to help you up and hold it here, or hand to the hip, or leg out straight, or you can be with both legs straight. Up on the elbow, hips go up, or the arm up to the sky. Holding. 3, belly in. Keep breathing. 2. Good, everyone. Get a little higher. 1, and come on back down. Whew. Now we're going to roll onto our backs. Set your feet close to your hips. So we'll do 2 sets of bridges. First set, elbows into the floor, squeeze your shoulder blades, and raise the hips up. Lengthen out your neck. Raise your right leg to the sky, and we'll press up. Push with the left foot, and the left glute contracts more. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the right foot back down. Reset yourself in a good bridge position. Then raise your left leg. Hold for a moment. Make sure you've got the right glute contracting, right foot nicely into the floor. And we press up. 5, 4, squeeze tight. 3, 2, 1. Bring the foot back down. Stay in your bridge. Raise your arms over your head and reach behind you. Lengthen out your neck to relax the neck. And we'll lower the back down 1 vertebra at a time. Very, very slowly. Take your time with it. Be sure the low back gets down to the floor before the hips get there. And once you're all the way down, soles of the feet together, knees wide, and bring your hands just at the front of your hips. Take a moment just to relax and let go. Raise your knees back up. Walk your feet away from you. Heels into the floor, knees slightly bent. So this is the second round of bridge postures. This is for the hamstrings and glutes. So the knees are just slightly bent, heels pressing into your mat, toes pointing up. Arms can be down by your side, head is down. Squeeze your shoulder blades a bit, and we'll raise the hips up. Now this is already super strong. You should feel it in the backs of the legs. You can take your hands and just touch the backs of your legs. You'll feel it's like a rock. If you want to go farther, it becomes very strong. You raise your right knee to your chest, bring it back down, raise your left knee to the chest, back down. If you have any knee issues, I don't recommend this. But if the backs of your legs are strong, you want to get them stronger, this is how you do it. One knee at a time. Last one, right knee. And last one, next, the left knee. Bring the hips back down. And we take happy baby pose to relax. Lift the feet up, grab either the ankles, bottoms of the feet, knees go wider than the shoulders, and you just stay here. Feel the low back stretching out, backs of the legs. If you wish, you could rock a bit from side to side. Just giving your back a little bit of attention and love. A little bit of TLC. And then bring your knees together. Right arm to the right ear and roll all the way to your right hand side. Once you're there, lift yourself up from the side. Okay. From here, I want us to get back into downward facing dog. So either way you're facing on your mat, maybe you want to get into a position where you can see me quite well. Come back onto your hands and knees and downward facing dog. Pedal your feet a little bit. Now take your right leg and bring the knee behind the right hand. Slide down until you are in a pigeon position. Now, for those of you who have any knee issues, this is what I'd like you to do instead. You're going to do a reclining pigeon position for that knee that's bothering you, okay? If the knee's not bothering you, the one that's forward, turn towards the front of your mat, and one elbow at a time, get down onto the elbows. If you have a lot of flexibility in the hip, maybe you can walk your hands forward and bring the forehead down. Just take some deep, slow breaths here. Gently walk your hands back. Tucking your back toes under, you'll just retake your downward facing dog and pedal your feet. If you're in the reclining pigeon, just roll over and come back up to your downward facing dog and pedal your feet with us. And we do the other side. Left knee comes up, place it behind your left hand. So you can get your foot up, sinking down, get onto your elbows or arms stretched in front of you. Again, if this is too much for the knee, you just roll onto your back and take reclining pigeon. That's good enough. It's perfect to stretch out the hip and the piriformis muscle. If you're in pigeon, just let yourself sink into the posture. Maybe you stretch your arms out and relax. Walk your hands back, tucking the back toes under. Let's take our downward facing dog and pedal the feet. From here, let's bring the knees down at the center of the mat. turn yourself towards me, soles of the feet together, knees wide. And you know this position. This is the butterfly position. So with the butterfly position, first we're going to rock from side to side, just massaging backs of the hips a little bit and getting the knees ready. If the knees are okay, you can bring your feet in closer. Just be aware of how you're feeling. If there's some discomfort or pain, of course you want to back off the posture. And we come to the center and gently move your knees up and down, just like a butterfly in the sun that's drying off, closing its wings, opening, closing. Then keeping the wings open, lift your chest and lean forward from the chest. So we don't want our chin coming forward and creating strain. We want the chest coming forward and creating a stretch at the low back and the hips. Rise back up. Lift your knees. And just quickly to release, bring your feet apart and knees touch each other, hands behind you. Just hold this position for a moment. Feet are apart, knees together. And we'll separate the knees again, and we'll come into what's called diamond pose. So it's like the butterfly, but the feet are farther out in front of us, creating a diamond with our legs. Lift the chest. And again, lean forward from the chest so you don't have the strain in the neck with the chin forward. Keep the chin in, and the chest moves forward. Take deep, slow breaths and see how far you can go. There's no pressure to go far. You just let yourself relax into the position. And of course, be aware of the knees and the hips and the low back. If there's too much, you just back off the posture. Walking your hands back. Stretch your right leg straight out in front of you, toes pointing skyward. Left knee bends a little bit more and bring it in so that the foot is against the thigh. I mentioned this last week. Forward bends are all calming, very good for the evening. So we're finishing up with our forward bends. Lift the chest and walk your hands forward. Let yourself fold forward over the right leg. See how far you can go. If you can grab the bottom of the foot, do that. If not, hands stay on the floor. Set your hands down, rise back up. Now we're going to do a beautiful release of this. Watch. I'll take my left hand, bring it down behind me, and I'll raise my right arm and raise the hips up, pressing the hips forward and diagonally. Arm comes up over the head and I reach, and then I come back down, facing front. Okay. Try that. Go ahead. Good. Perfect. Helps to release the front of the hip as well as the other side. Now we raise the left knee and cross it over the right leg. Sit up nice and tall. Grab a hold of the knee with your right arm. Lift your left arm And gently twist, bringing the left hand to the floor for support, getting into a spinal twist. Unwinding slowly. Take that left leg, the knee in the crook of the elbow, the other foot at the other crook of the elbow if possible. If not, you just grab the knee and the foot and you rock like you're rocking the baby side to side, helping to release the joints in the hip as well as the sacrum. And relax. Bring the foot straight out in front of you. Left leg stays straight, right knee bends. Lift nice and tall. And if possible, walk your hands out in front towards that left leg, toes pointing skyward. Fold over the leg if your back is okay. If there's any issue in the back, you want to keep your back long and straight. If there's no issue in the back, you can reach forward and fold. The head comes towards the knee. Again, here you can just breathe and allow yourself to drop your day, letting go, getting ready for your evening. Setting your hands down, lift up slowly, and we take that counter posture. The right hand comes behind you, and you swing your left arm up as you rise, lifting the hips up, push them skyward, arm comes up, get a deep stretch through the front of the hip, and then allow yourself to come back down. Good. We lift the right knee and cross it over. Lifting the chest, grab a hold of the knee with your left arm, raise the right arm, and we twist and look behind us. The right hand comes down to support the back. Unwinding slowly. Let's take that knee, lift it up. You can take the foot and the knee and rock the baby, or put them in the crook of the elbows and rock. All right. Last forward bend. I want you to stretch your legs out and then open them as wide as possible. Okay, as wide as possible for you. Toes pointing skyward, hands behind you, lift through the chest, and we push against the hands to lean forward. Take deep, slow breaths. If your shoulders are farther forward than your hips, you can bring your hands out in front of you. If they're not, if they're around here, that's fine too. You keep your hands behind to support the back. Deep breaths, keep the chin tucked in. Walk your hands back to lift the chest back up. Bring your knees bent out in front of you. Hands come behind you. Take a deep breath in and lift the hips up, either looking forward, looking skyward, or let your head rest on your trapezius if it's comfortable for the neck. Keep the hips lifted, and then look to your knees, lowering the hips down. Grab behind your thighs and let yourself roll onto your back. Separate your feet as wide as the mat so you can feel the edges of your mat. Arms stretched long behind your head. Let both knees fall to your right. And you should feel a very deep stretch down the left-hand side of the body as well as the abdomen. So you reach with your left arm and get that stretch. Raise the left knee first, right knee follows, and let's change sides. The knees go to your left. Right arm reaches far behind you. You get that length and stretch down the right-hand side of the body. Keeping the shoulders down. That's it. Good. Raise your right knee first, left knee follows. Raise both knees up to the chest. Squeeze them against the chest. Rock a bit from side to side. Then let's lift our heads, bring the nose between the knees. Lower your head down and stretch your legs onto the floor, palms facing the sky. Squeeze the shoulder blades so that the chest and the belly opens up. And take deep, slow breaths in and out of the belly. If you can, allow the belly to rise and fall with your breath. Be sure not to force this type of belly breath. You should just feel a gentle rise and fall. Bring your attention to your feet and your hands. And imagine that there is a relaxing energy that begins at the tips of your toes and the tips of your fingertips. And the energy rises up towards the center of the body. And once it reaches the center of the body, imagine that there's another pulse of that relaxing energy moving from the tips of the toes and the tips of the fingers to the center of the body. And again, a little pulse. Another pulse. One more pulse. And relax your mind. Allow it to think about anything that you want to. Bring your awareness back to your position. And begin deepening your breath again. This time, take a deep breath in through the nose and breathe it out with the sigh through the mouth. Again. Once more. Begin moving your fingers and your toes now. Raising your arms up over your head, stretch from fingers to toes. And then lift your knees up to your chest and squeeze them against the chest. Good. Rock a bit from side to side just to get some massage of the back, a little bit more TLC for the back. Stretching your right arm to your right ear. Roll to your right hand side. And setting your hands down on the side. Push down into the floor and come up to a seated position. Nice. Good. Well done. Let's bring our hands together. Let's rub them together. And as you rub them together, come back to that sensation in your hands. When you get back to your sensations, you get back into the right-hand side of the brain. Bring the hands over the face. Tap gently around your eyes. And shake out. Let's do it one more time. Rubbing the hands together. Raise the heat in the hands. Bring the hands over the face. Gently tapping around the eyes. Shake out. Let's get you prepared for your evening. Hands to your heart center. I wish you all a lovely evening. Thanks for joining me this evening. Namaste.